Welcome to the world of colors. I'm Colors. Today we're going to be going back to the basics and cutting some beards and making some shoes. And we're going to be making the little graduation gnome here. He's pretty easy to make. He won't take very long. And while I'm making him, I'll be showing you how to cut the beard and make the shoes. So I have the materials in front of me and I'll be right back to tell you about them. So what we're going to use today to make the graduation gnome is we're going to start out by using the pots that I get at St. Patrick's Day from the Dollar Tree, the little St. Patrick's Day pots. You can also get these on Amazon. When it's not St. Patrick's Day, obviously you can't get them at Dollar Tree, so you can get them at Amazon at other times. And that's what we use to make the shoes. So we also need the 7-inch rollers from Dollar Tree. They come 6 in a package. And we'll be using 2 of those rollers. We'll be using some kids. They're called quarter socks. They're black quarter socks and the kids' socks at Dollar Tree. And we're going to be using the woman's low-cut socks at from the Dollar Tree. They're size 5 through 9, and they're the woman's size. And we'll be using the men's fashion socks in this stripe pattern. You can pick whatever pattern you want to, but this is what I'm using. And then the graduation hat comes from the Party City store. Party City has these. And you can pick those up, pretty reasonable. And then we're going to be using a 4x5 beard, which I'll be cutting with you, showing you how I cut the beards. And we'll be using a 3.5 by 6 inch piece of white felt and 3 6-inch by 6-inch pieces of sandstone felt, and a black fleece piece that's 7 inches by 15 inches for the gown. We'll need 2 1/4 inch by 7-inch pieces of the yellow fleece. And we'll need a 7-inch piece of very thin black to go around the wrists, 7 inches. I made up 2 bows to go on his shoes out of some black cording that I got at Joann's. 2 bows. We'll be using some blush and some rubber bands, some polyester fiberfill, and then this lanyard that I got at Dollar Tree we'll be using to cut out the letters for the diploma. So you'll want to pick up one of these lanyards if you can get your hands on one from the Dollar Tree, and you can use that for several of these graduation gnomes. We'll be using some flat marbles and some masking tape. And that's about it. So let me get these things pushed back and I'll have a space to work and we'll get started on this project. Okay, the first thing that we want to do today is I thought we would do the shoes first. And you want to take out your pots, the 2 little St. Patrick's Day pots. And the little bows that I made up, I had you make. And the little kids' socks, 2 of those. Some masking tape and some flat marbles and your rubber bands and a pair of scissors, and that's all it takes to make these graduation shoes. So what you want to do is take your little pots and take off the handles. You're not going to need the handles. And then you want to take your scissors and cut down the seam on the pot. There are little seams on there if you can see them. You just want to cut down the seam. Like that. And then you want to take it and turn it this way. And there's a little groove in the top of the pot here we want to cut a little 1/4-inch snip in there. That's going to hold the rubber band in place, otherwise it'll keep slipping off. And we're going to do that with both of them. I'm going to cut down the seam again. Almost to the end. And then this one I did going that way. So this one I'm going to do the slit going the other way. Just 1/4 inch, like that. And then is what you want to do is take and put your rubber bands on. So is what you want to do is just kind of fold the pot in like that. Fold the pot in like that. What you're wanting to do is get that slit on the top, because it's going to hold the rubber band in place. And then just take your rubber bands and take it like that. You see how the rubber band goes right into that slit that you made. And then you can put 2 rubber bands on there if you want. And then it kind of points out sometimes. And so what I do is I put a piece of masking tape on that. There it is. Put a piece of masking tape over the area right here so it doesn't go through the sock. Just put it on there like that. And then we'll do the other side. So this will go to my left, and this one I'll go to the right. The little slit goes to the right. And then you just keep putting your rubber band on there. Like that. So now you have the pair with the little rim going one way and the other way for your shoes. And what you want to do is, now that you've got the pair sitting there, you know which side to put your hole in. So you get your X-Acto knife, which I just remembered I didn't give you on the materials list, but you need an X-Acto knife. And you want to cut about a 1/4 size piece out of each shoe on the inside of the shoe. The inside. They're going to go together like that on the inside. So cut your 1/4 size piece out of there. And then you have your 2 holes that you're going to be able to glue together to make this pair of shoes. So what you want to do next is to go ahead and put your sock on. Just put that in there, and you want the seam of the sock to go right along the bottom of the shoe like that. Right along the front. The masking tape is right underneath here. And then just put your sock top, just put it right inside the shoe. Like that. And that's good. We'll do the other side. There we go. Like that. So we have them like that. Let me get the line up better on this one. So we have them like that. And what we want to do is feel for where the holes are that we cut on the inside like that. And so we'll feel for the hole, and then we'll put some glue on it. About like that. And then you want to set it down and find the hole on the other shoe and put those two holes together like that. And then you want to hold them flat down and let them set up. So I'll be right back with you in a few minutes. So I've got them glued now, nice and flat to the surface. And the next thing we want to do is put some marbles in them. Now, on the original video, we were trying to decide whether to put the marbles in the shoes or the belly. And since I did that video about a year ago, I've had a lot of people tell me they think it would be better if I put the marbles in the shoes or the belly or back and forth. So I've tried them several different ways. This one that we're doing today, I've got the marbles in the shoes and in the belly. And that seems to be working really well. So it's just whatever works for you. And you kind of have to experiment with it. But today we're going to do it this way. We're going to put it in both. Put them in both. That should be good. And then the next thing that I'm going to do to the shoes is I'm going to put on these little bows. Like he's laced up his shoes. And I'm going to put the other one on, and then the shoes will be finished. And I'll be right back with you. So I've got the shoes finished now, and I'm going to put them to the side till we need them. And what I want to do next is make the body. And remember, we're using a woman's size 5 through 9 black sock. It's a low cut woman's sock, not a man's sock. And he's a pretty small little gnome. And so I wanted to remind you of that. So get that. So you want to take the sock and put some marbles in it. And then we want to put some polyester fiber fill in there. This is how I would just do my basic gnome. The shoes don't have to be on this one. I put the shoes on at the very end because I wanted to show you how to make the shoes on this video. He doesn't even have to have shoes, and I'm going to put the shoes on at the very end so I can show you what he looks like before I put the shoes on. So we want to fill this one up pretty good. Put just a little bit more in there, and then I'm going to fasten it with a rubber band. Let's measure how big the body is. So I have an 8-inch body. be an 8-inch body on this one. So the next thing we want to do is to cut the arms. And I picked out these striped socks at the Dollar Tree. And I thought they were really a nice looking sock for a project. And sure enough, I'm going to use them for the graduation gnome. So we want to just go ahead and take them out of the packaging. And I'll do that, and I'll be right back with you. We'll get started on doing the arms. The next thing we want to do is to go ahead and make the arms. So you take the socks that I just had out, and I've got the tags all off of them. And you put them lay them one on top of the other, like that. And then I put my 7-inch rollers on top. The arms are going to be a little bit smaller than these rollers. I'm going to adjust them, probably cut off a little bit of these arms before I attach them to the body. So we want to cut right across here, like that, right across. Use the 7-inch rollers as your measurer. And then we're not going to use this part of the socks for this project. So you can set those aside. And we want to take our socks. This part is going to be the cuff of the sleeve, so we don't have to worry about gluing this up or anything. It's already done for us. So that's a nice part about using the end of the top of the sock there for the cuff. And what we want to do is we want to get some polyester fiber fill. And just fill them right up here, not too much. Put a little bit more in there at the end. And then they're about like that, if you can tell. And then you want to tunnel down through the middle. And put your roller in there. And then fix the foam or the fiber fill like that. And then put a rubber band just line up the cuff with the end of the roller, and then put your rubber band around there. Not too tight, just a couple times around like that. And then we're going to have to pull out this fiber fill before we can glue in the hand. And that roller should go all the way down to give us room to put in the hand. And then on the other end, this is the end that we fasten to the body. We're going to take a rubber band and put it all together here. And rubber band in that roller so it stays nice and in place. And that you can do pretty tight, like that. And this is what I'm going to do is to go ahead and take my scissors and pop off about a 1/2 inch of this roller here. Like that. And that'll give the arms to be about the right size that we want. So that's how I do the arms. I'm going to do the other arm and I'll be right back with you. So I've got the 2 arms made up. They're sitting here. And as what I want to do is make the nose and the hands. And take the 3 sandstone pieces of felt that are 6 by 6 inches. And then you want to take some polyester fiber fill and make it about the size that you want the hands or the nose. And put it right in the middle of your felt, like that. And you just want to push it up with your thumb. I'm trying not to get big wrinkles in the side. Make it more even if you can. And then take your rubber band and just keep wrapping it around. Here, wrap it all the way so you can't wrap the rubber band anymore. And then you have a nice round nose or hand. The nose and hands are made the same way. And you just cut that off. And we're going to use this for the nose. I'm going to glue that on right now. Just put some glue on the end of it, the stub of the nose, and glue it right on the rubber band here. And you have to hold that for 2 or 3 minutes, so I'll be right back with you. So I've got the nose glued on, and I went ahead and made the hands. And the hands are made the same way as I just made the nose. So those are done, and what we want to do is blush them out. I've got them blushed out here on this gnome, and we just want to give it some color. About like that. And we'll do the same thing to the hands. I just got this blush at the Dollar Tree for $1. And now we'll attach the hands to the little roller that's down here in our cuff. We want to glue it right to this little roller. So just put your glue on there. Go ahead and put your glue around the rubber band like that. Put the side that you have the most blush on towards what's going to be the top of your arm. And just put that in there like that. We'll let that set up, and then I'm going to glue the other hand in, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so the arms are all ready. The hands are attached. We got a nose on. We're ready to put the little 7-inch piece of black felt that I had you cut, or it's felt fleece. And we're going to cut it in half. And what we want to do is wrap the wrists before we put this on the arm, body. It'll be easier. So we'll just wrap it around like that. Put some glue in there on the rubber band. And I didn't need quite that much. So I'll carefully trim that off. So his wrist, his rubber band is covered. We'll do this one. Okay, so now we're ready to glue these on the body. What we want to do is glue them right here on the back of this little stump here behind his nose. We're going to glue them on just like that. So I'm going to put some glue on the arm right there where the rubber band is. Quite a good amount of glue, and put it halfway across there. And then I'm going to hold that till it sets up. And then I'm going to put the glue on this arm and put it right there and hold it till it sets up. So I'll be right back with you. I'm letting the arms finish setting up. They're set up enough for me to let go. Let them set up for a few more minutes, and while that's going on, I'm going to do the gown. So you take your black fleece, your 7-inch by 15-inch piece of black fleece. You fold it over like that. Get the corners together. So I'm going to get my corners together like that, and then I'm going to fold it again. This is how I find the center of the top to put it over the nose. I have to find the center, so I do it like that. So you fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And then your center is going to be right there. So we're going to cut off enough that's going to go over the nose. Like that. Maybe it's a $50 size. And then what I want to do today is not use the pink clips. What I want to do is to go ahead and glue this together about 5 inches on each side. We'll glue, and then we'll turn it right side out. So you just want to open it up. If you can follow what I'm saying. And then just go in about 1/4 of an inch. Just got some glue on there. Go in about 1/4 of an inch, about 5 inches up. You want to leave enough room to put the arms through the holes. That should do it. And then just glue that together. And then the other side, you want to do the same thing. Just leave about that much room. And just put that back down like that. We'll let those set up. We'll let this set up, and I'll be right back with you to show you how I cut the beards. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our cutting board and put it on our table to protect our table from getting cut. Just use one of these thin little cutting boards. And you take your faux fur onto the back side. You want to make sure your fur is going down. Check the direction. Going down like that. And flip it over onto the back side. Like that. And I'm going to cut a 4 by 5 inch beard. I'm going to use this little cutting utility knife, scrap tilly they call it, knife from the Crafter's Square at Dollar Tree. This is what I use all the time to cut my beards. So that's a pretty good deal for $1. And then I'm going to use the chalk marker, white chalk marker, to mark my spots, my lines on here. You get that for $1 at the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to measure. So now that I know that my fur is going down, then I'm going to measure 4 inches. We'll get this 4 inches across and mark that. And then come down 5 inches. We're going to mark that a little bit over. And mark it for 4 inches. So that would be where our line would be. It's right there and right here. So that's our 4x5 beard. And then is what you want to do is it's so important to keep the bottom there and not cut it off. You want it to look natural at the bottom, not cut off. So we're going to do the side. Get on the cutting board here. And we're going to do the side. And I'm not too worried about how deep I'm cutting on the side. I just cut that down. Usually I do have to go up and pick up the top there. And then when you do the bottom, you want to be concerned about how much pressure you're using. You just want to use enough pressure to cut that cloth and not go down and cut the fur. It's kind of something that you learn after you do a few of them. How hard to, what kind of pressure that you want to use there to keep your beard there. And usually you do have to go back like I'm doing and get these little spots. But you see how I kept the hair down here for the beard. You don't want to cut that off. And there's my 4x5 inch beard. You can see it there. All ready to go on. So that's how you cut your beards. That's how I do mine. And in a minute I'll be right back over to my other table and we'll continue to make the gnome. Now we've got the gown glued. It's all set up. And we're going to turn it right way out. Turned out really nice. And what we need to do is get it on the body. So we want to take it over the nose and take the arms through it. Well, we're going to do the arms through it first. We'll get it on there one way or another. Just like that. Well, he's got his graduation gown. And the next thing I want to do is put on his beard, which I have right here, his 4x5 inch beard. What I'm going to do first before I put it on is take the corners. I'm on the back of the beard, and I'm going to take the corners and put a little V-shaped glue right there, and then just fold this up. And this rounds off the beard so it's not so square. Looks more natural. Just put your V right there and fold that right up. Like that. And then you want to fold your beard right in half the long way. And you want to cut a slit in it, about an inch slit, like that. That's going to go up and around this nose. like that. So you just want to take it and pull it up and around the nose. And then you want to go ahead and just glue the ends of the beard towards the center of the back. We want the hat to be able to go over it, so we don't want it way over here. We want to glue it towards the center, like that. And while I'm holding, setting that up, I'm holding it while it sets up. I do the shaping of the beard, mustache. And I use firm holding hairspray when I do this. I'll put a little on right now. I don't want to get it too wet because I still have to work with them. Usually I'll do this at the end. But that'll hold it maybe a couple times, put the spray on there. Like that. So the next thing that I want to do is put on this hat. And this is the hat from Party City. We don't need the little thing to hang the hat. Cut that off. And there's little tassels on there. And we just want to glue that grad so that the grad is centered in the middle of the nose. Like that. So we put some glue on the back of the nose. Let's see where I'm at there. And then we're going to center that grad on that. And I'm going to hold that and let it set up. And then I'm going to go on and glue it on the back. Right here. I'm going to put some glue right under here and hold that down. So I'm going to do that and I'll be right back with you. So what we're going to do next is to go ahead, we've got the hat glued on, and we're going to go ahead and put the cords on. So you want to take your 2 1/4" by 7" pieces of yellow fleece. Just something really simple. Looks great on. Cut the ends. Like that. And then we want to glue it up underneath this beard to come down like that. Get it up under there so it doesn't hang too low onto the surface. Of course, if it does, you can always trim it, which I may do. And there's the cords. And then I want to make the diploma. You want to take your 3.5" by 6" piece of white felt and just roll that up. Like that. And we're going to glue it. And then we're going to take the lanyard that we got at Dollar Tree and cut out the hat and the 2021. We don't have room for the grad on there. And he already has grad on his hat, so we don't need that. And then I'm not cutting real close to the, I'm leaving a little bit. Like that. A little bit of black next to the hat. And then we want to glue that on here with the seam in the back. We'll glue that on centered. See if I can do this without gluing my fingers to it. There we go. And then you just want to take the arms and we're going to glue the end. Let's get this piece off here. We're going to glue the end to this hand and then the other end to the top of this hand and have it going out saying 2021. So I will do that. Like that. I'm going to let that set up. And then I'm going to glue this to the top of the other hand. And I'll be right back with you. So he's all ready with this diploma glued on. And I wanted to show you him at this point. At this point, he doesn't have any shoes attached to him. This is how I made him to begin with. And I thought he was just the cutest little guy to give. And then I wanted to do the shoes again in the video, so I decided that I'd put shoes on him so that I could show the shoes, how to make the shoes again in the video. And that's the option that you have. You could do like this, or you could add the shoes if you have the pots, or you want to get the pots. You could add the shoes to them if you want to, or you could use them this way. So right now I'm going to add the shoes. What you do is you just want to take your glue. Make sure you have an extra stick nearby because it takes a lot of glue. And you want to, these shoes have marbles in them. His belly has marbles in them. You just want to go around like this. Like that. Kind of stretch out the bottom of your sock and lay it as centered as you can on top of the boots. Like that. And you want to apply pressure down on them like that for 3 or 4 minutes, a good 3 or 4 minutes. And then I'll be right back with you. So he's all finished now, and he's just a simple little graduation gnome. Doesn't take a long time to make, and he's optional with or without the shoes. So if you like this video, make sure to like, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe.